look at that. We're live for another Joe King Adventure Hour. This is Wednesday, July 29, 2026. Hello to X Rumble and BitChute. Hello to YouTube. Hello to Lurkers Bots. Hello to the chat. Hello to George.
Greetings.
We stream every night because the stories are real, but the news, they tend to be fake. And before we jump in, be sure to get your copy of The Immortal Mask, a 200-page graphic novel on sale now at Dinales.com, CriticalBlast.com, and Amazon.com. It's my book.
Yep.
All right, Rapid Response 47, huge. The U.S. Export-Import Bank. Thanks to POTUS, the Export-Import Bank is profitable for the first time in nearly a decade. Here's why it matters to every American. 1. The supply chain security. The EXIM is answering POTUS' call to action, delivering Project Vault and $28 billion in deals to ensure companies, large and small, have access to critical raw materials. 2. Reindustrialization America. EXIM is at the frontline economic tool again. Small businesses are at the heart of our mission, supporting over 45,000 American jobs. 3. Energy dominance. After 4 years of Biden's inaction, President Trump is unleashing American energy dominance, and EXIM is sending American molecules and technology to every corner of the globe. 4. American innovation. EXIM is investing in Americans' future by making sure we can innovate and build in America again, backing cutting-edge companies like Jet Zero, Beta Technologies, and K2 Space as they transform their industry. EXIM is doing all of this while returning a profit to the taxpayer. When EXIM does its job, hardworking Americans across the country has more high-paying jobs and more money in their pocket.
Okay, so all these supply chains should have sign-offs.
Mm-hmm. I believe the part of this is working because a lot of regulations that were put in during the quote-unquote Biden era, quote-unquote Obama era, quote-unquote Bush era, quote-unquote, and the Clinton era are being repealed, George, and you're muted yourself.
No. I'm muting myself because I can't put my headphones on for some reason. The audio is not working with the headphones. Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
Remember, it's like, oh, you need to sign off duplicates, triplicates, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all this is being repealed, but here's the thing. It's not. It's impossible to focus it in one spot.
Right.
Because this stuff here has like snaked its way out to multiple places.
You were saying it would take like about 10 years to sort this mess out, right?
It's a huge mess.
So
even if you had Doge AI running this, right? It would have to go through systems checks and approvals. They just can't just turn it off. Of course, they can just go directly to the USID central banking machine and then just switch it off. Yes. But the system itself has to be addressed at every stage.
So you would say this would take like about a decade?
It would.
So that means that since Trump has entered office, or even before he entered office, this has been initiated.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you, George? Because I don't see Obama doing this.
It tells me that a lot of people out there are old school in the business sense, where it's not all electronic data; it's actual paperwork. So that's what's going to slow it down. Hey, you go to the clerk and say, "I need file 24A-4," and the clerk's going to say, "Well, I have to put it on my list of things to do." It's not like I can give it to you right away.
Yeah. But it sounds like, George, that this means that the whole revamp. Nearly a decade. Nearly a decade, George. Nearly a decade. They've been working on this. Trump didn't come into office until January of 2017, George. Obama was still president at that time.
Wowzers.
You know what? Here's my suspicion, George. And we may never know it, but here's my suspicion. Because the more that we look at it, the more that Trump is doing all these things, right? Is the more it takes more time to actually fix things, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting under the suspicion that I think they got Obama during his second term.
Well, you're talking about the third term, really.
No. I'm not talking about the third term. I'm talking about his second term.
Oh, you mean the stealth term where he let Biden win?
No, I'm not talking about Biden. I'm talking about, I believe, here's my suspicion, that the military took over Obama during his second term. That we've been
okay. That's a pretty ballsy statement, sir.
Yeah, because that's the only way I can jive with all this changes that Trump has been doing, relatively fast, right? And no disruption, nothing, nobody's yelling and screaming and kicking, George. With like you mentioned, this is a Guerrerian knot. This hasn't happened in 18 months, George.
Yeah, we're talking decade.
Right.
Easy.
So decade means 2016. Obama was still president at that time. So here's the thing. Based on the news that's been coming out, we don't have election security. We have 18 states that's election registration, voter registration information has been compromised. We have illegal aliens has been registered to vote in many states, which means that effectively every election has been null and void. Right?
Yep.
So, wouldn't it be simpler to say Obama, they captured him during his second term and then made him do all the stupid action because, they had the goods on him?
Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, I'm beginning to see your thinking, and I think it's good because the Iranians apparently blackmailed Obama.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't the Americans blackmail Obama?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I dig it. That makes sense.
And then remember what happened. Remember at the end of Obama when they started giving each other medals?
Yeah, basically high fives.
Yeah. And that was the strangest thing ever. Giving each other medals.
You know what? Now that I think about it, those medals did come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Biden medal. End of term. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. So let's look at this right here. 2010, President Obama signed celebrated a major milestone when the Affordable Care Act was signed to law. Let's see. Let's look at. Here's Obama, right? And here's Biden. Huh. I'm telling you, that plastic surgeon must be fired. Terrible. Look, it's here. Pop, click on, click off.
The Bidens.
Oops. There you go. Let's see. I don't want that. Man, they always do that. Is this one? Because they made a meme out of it, but here it is. Oops. Good morning, America. Remember? See if they have the video. This is January 12, 2017. President Obama surprised Vice President Joe Biden with the highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, at a tribute event at the White House this afternoon. For the first and only time in President Obama presidency, the award was given with distinction, a title only awarded to Pope John Paul II, Ronald Reagan, and General Colin Powell in modern history. The ceremony was kept secret from the vice president until he walked into the state dining room and found an audience filled with his family, the president's family, and colleagues throughout his career. At first, the president began the event as a former farewell to the vice president, whom he shared a remarkable close relationship, and a salute to a partner at the White House. He says, a better president and a better commander-in-chief.
Here you leave today and enter a world of cool kids.
Don't care. Don't care. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I wish I could just skip this.
It is hard to pull off a surprise family. Just a few days left together in the White House.
The best vice president America's ever had, Mr. Joe Biden. This also gives the internet one last chance to talk about our bromance.
Talk about our bromance. Our bromance, George. Our bromance.
Yep.
Hey, George. How do you mark the people that were traitors that you can look in hindsight in?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Hindsight. Blonde goth girl, Disney commercial or pedal promotion? Why not both? And it's funny, you're dealing with one and two here. You know, from the look of things. Possibly, I can't tell. You know, but wouldn't be surprised. So. Yeah, they talk about it, and look. Here's the medal. And this guy, his face. That's not a face. George, am I wrong to say that's not a face that's happy to get the award?
No, that's a face of relief.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm suspecting that award grants him some sort of merit of quality, which basically prevents people from actually coming after him and saying, it's like a war hero, right?
Yeah.
So are you going to go after a war hero or are you going to let it slide?
Hey, George, you know about the Rommel death, right?
Yep.
For those who in the audience who don't know history, what is the Rommel death?
He died.
Yes, but what does it entail?
First he was alive, then he died.
Yes, but you got to put it in context.
I got no context.
All right. So the Rommel death was a war hero, Rommel, who tried to assassinate Hitler. You probably saw it with a Tom Cruise movie called Valkyries. And basically, because he was a wartime hero and tried to assassinate Hitler, they decided to give him a Rommel death. What that means? That means they killed him, but made it seem like he died of another reason to preserve his legacy. What does this mean? What I'm trying to say? I believe this guy had the option of dying with his dignity destroyed, reputation, or making sure that he died with honor. Well, you know what happened? I think he cut the deal. I think the award was the acceptance of what's going to happen. He's going to get executed behind the scene. We're going to get a Biden 2.0, body doubles playing Biden, who's going to drag his image through the mud because, come on, George, can't you say the 4 years of Biden was all clown show?
Yep.
And his son, when he's talking on the mic, he said, "I cut a deal."
Yep.
So I am sure that this gentleman is no longer with us. Just a reminder. And why we're talking about this? Because we're talking about good old fashioned. This guy, drag this guy next. Maze. Remember this guy?
It's usually a 10 to 25 year time frame. People forget how long it really takes to develop an effective and safe vaccine and do all the adequate clinical testing.
Hey, remember safe and an effective vaccine takes about 6 to 7 years to actually do with all the processes. And yet they had that done.
Yeah.
Yet they had those ready with Operation Warp Speed done.
Yeah.
Let's see. We can take it in 3 different ways, right? Operation Warp Speed push the manufacturer to produce faulty vaccine to move things ahead of schedule, hoping that people would take their decision whether or not to take the vaccine. But he didn't mandate it. The when it was mandated was under Biden. Number 2, if you take the this guy saying the truth that it takes about 6 to 7 years for the vaccine to be developed, and they had it ready in 2020, that means since 2013 they've been developing this vaccine. I mean, they had this vaccine ready to go for this illness. And we've been learning that illness can be manufactured in a lab, which is a gain of function. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the third possibility is that they were hoping to keep us locked down for 6 to 7 years and then give us the vaccine. And, our economy is to shit. Many possibilities just to think of.
The current record for developing a vaccine from start to licensure in the United States is around 3 or 4 years. So that's the realistic time frame we have to start thinking about.
When you look at the timelines of this COVID-19 vaccines, it really follows the same progression as almost any other vaccine. The vaccine development cycle for COVID-19 vaccines very much goes along with what we've seen before. And there are some variances, but modest. And I think that's an important story for people to know if they're concerned about taking COVID-19 vaccines.
It's usually a 10 to 25 year time frame.
You see the different time frames?
He just likes to make stuff up.
Likes to make things up. Ah, man. Sometimes you just wonder. Oh, by the way, I'm not surprised but I guess it takes a billionaire to defeat another billionaire. Inside a paper, Obama granted Bill Gates top secret Q clearance at the Energy Department, the Daily Caller reports. Department of Energy Q top secret clearance typically applies to position involving nuclear weapon design, national laboratory, critical energy infrastructure, and classified scientific research, as per the national security law firm. Say, George, why did our government give Bill Gates a Q clearance?
Oopsie! Somebody screwed up. That's what happened.
Right.
He was supposed to get a hall pass.
So basically, it takes a billionaire to defeat another billionaire. In this case, it took 2 billionaires to defeat 1 billionaire.
And it takes a trillionaire to tell the truth of a billionaire.
Exactly. Catherine Hetrich, the Fauci pardon, not bulletproof. On the pardon, before the hearing, Senator Rand Paul, a former senior Justice Department prosecutor, told me there are 3 viable legal strategies to challenge the preemptive Biden pardon, but there is no easy path. One strategy calls for charging Fauci with a crime with the expectation he will file a motion with the court to dismiss based on the pardon. This could open the door to challenging the sweeping pardon viability in years of litigation. Another strategy involves Congress. Because Fauci has theoretically been preemptively pardoned and gets a pass in future criminal charges related to his NIH work, it can be argued that Fauci has no plausible claims to the Fifth Amendment and that the right against self-incrimination. If Fauci takes the Fifth at Senator Paul's hearing, which he has, the committee could seek to compel Fauci testimony. A finding of contempt could follow. And finally, one of Fauci's closest associates has been criminally charged. With pressure and the right incentive, he might be flipped and become a cooperating witness. He has. Dr. David Morris, who was a senior advisor to Fauci at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, was indicted on multiple charges, including conspiracy and obstruction, including destruction, alteration, and falsification of federal records, along with the allegation that personal email accounts were used to evade the Freedom of Information Act. This could be a powerful motivator. From media reports, Dr. David Morens has pleaded not guilty to 5 federal criminal counts. No, Senator Rick Scott just raised the Morris case. Fauci continues to take the 5th. So there you go. 3 viable options. Technically, there's a fourth one, George. Do you know what the 4th one is?
Not really. I mean, I'm just floored that this is even happening.
Well, here's the 4th viable option. Yes, you can say that he's been pardoned from 2014 to whenever Biden's time frame, right?
Yeah.
And like I said before, that doesn't preclude his conspiracy of engaging in that destruction and planning, because it could be from what about before 2014? What about 2013 and before? Huh? And now that he's engaging in a conspiracy, you can go to 2025 to now. And you know what the last viable option is?
What?
You don't get pardoned for treason, George.
What?
This is a national security. He used a biological weapon, which is equivalent of sending a nuke to the countries. You don't get a pardon from that if they find him of high crimes and treason. I believe this would follow high crimes and treason.
How long do you think a trial would go?
Well, there's the courts, and I would guarantee they would probably go to the courts just to give that theatric show saying, "Oh no, justice is not going to happen. we know Fauci is guilty. We have his diary, but nothing is happening, right? And and I'll give the optic for the military to step in, right? Because people are going to be demanding justice.
Yep.
And with a JAG who's been already deputized, right, and made to be doing this would fall under court martial, and they could do judge, jury, and execution right there with a martial trial.
Wow.
Legally split. So my feeling is, because we have to take it by baby steps, and we have to get the people on board with, with an execution, they're going to drag the Fauci situation through the mud until people are clamoring for Fauci to be executed and justice. And it's going to be the same thing with many things. You have to get the people on board. Otherwise, people are going to be stupid and start, oh no, here's the beginning of dictatorship. Bullshit.
Yeah.
So we can only go as fast as our as people allow us to go. Like, remember, I keep going with the illusion or the metaphor of the classroom. The teacher says,
so you're saying basically warp speed?
Yes. So basically, we have to. It's like the teacher saying, "Hey, class, you can leave early if everybody can tell me the image in this picture, right?" And basically, like 2/3 of the class have already figured out what the image of the picture is. We're waiting for the last 2/3 to kind of figure it out. They're looking at it,
Yep.
And we're like the people, like the first person to figure out the image, and we're still waiting on everybody else. That's where we're getting impatient and say, we need you guys. I want to go home. I don't want to be in this situation anymore. Come on, figure it out.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we are right now. But we should we in the front row who already figured out should be watching this kind of like a movie and eating popcorn. Eric, update. John Fetterman 9 admits in front of Dr. Fauci he regrets believing Fauci lies, saying conservatives were actually right.
And that it's not about much more your regrets, but I have one. And that is early on that there was the theory that the virus could have emerged from the lab. And early on that became like a right-wing kinds of theory. And I thought it seemed to make sense. Now, there was a really advanced lab that was close by, and then you have this unknown virus out. So, but that became a very partisan thing. And now it seems now it's more and more emerging theory that would have come from the lab. Now, I think that the next time our nation's facing something like this, we are not become, as I might have been, blinded by the partisan idea that it's not about much more your regrets, but I have
right, there
one.
you go. So Fetterman is regretting to have believed Fauci. George.
Wow.
Fetterman 9. He's a good man. I'll vote for Fetterman 9.
Fetterman for the win.
Yeah. Not Fetterman 1, but Fetterman 9 I'll vote for.
Yeah, Fetterman 9 for the win.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is with Senator Hawley. Josh Hawley talking about this. This is kind of funny.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, nothing says honesty like taking the fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Let's just get one. Thank you, Mr.
Somebody's a little itchy there.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting the answers they're looking for.
You know, as we read earlier, he can't plead the Fifth for self-incrimination if he has a pardon, right?
Yep.
Unless he doesn't believe that that pardon is actually viable. Huh. I wonder, George, if Trump is able to prove that the 2020 election was stolen and invalidates the President auto pen, right? Does that mean that all the laws signed during President Otto Penn's term is non and void? That becomes a messy issue as well. That means that all those elected officials in Congress are not really senators and don't have diplomatic immunity because their election is null and void. What an interesting conundrum. Maybe that's why Congress and all those politicians are fighting hard. Because if the president's non and void, then that means everybody else is non and void. That means that all the state elections non and void.
Are you saying that there is a mechanism, a framework of some kind that we eventually will erode the system and get rid of the rot?
Possibly. I don't know.
I find that incredibly hard to believe.
I don't know if they have the guts to do so.
Yeah, that's the part.
Oops. Let's see. There you go. So yeah, Udi, and a goodie. I plead the Fifth. I wish I did this as a kid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 50. Dave Chappelle. That was a legendary series.
Wow.
You know, it's like he was teed up. We're going to be talking about the Fifth. Eric, again, Florida Attorney General James Uthermeyer has just launched a state-level investigation into Anthony Fauci's after his lack of candor before Congress. The auto pen pardon does not cover state-level crimes.
Oh, really? What's it cover? Local municipal city stuff?
No. The pardon covers federal-level crimes.
Oh.
The committee why you chose to fund this dangerous research in China.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
In the red folder on your table is a copy of Section 192 of Title 2 of the U.S. Code. Your counsel has been provided a copy as well. That section makes it a crime for a witness appearing under subpoena to refuse to answer any questions pertinent to the question under inquiry. Do you have that in front of you?
Hey, George, I guess with the January 6th committee able to put Steve Bannon into prison, so quote unquote, and Steve Navarro into prison for refusing to answer the question, I guess Fauci doesn't have that wiggle room anymore because they set the precedents.
Uh-oh.
Blonde Golfcore, way to go to Florida. Florida rolled off the right side of the truck and kept going.
Counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Let the record record that the witness has refused to answer whether there's a folder in front of him based on his Fifth Amendment right. It is true that you're appearing under the committee why you chose to fund this dangerous research.
There you go. Luther Meyer, my office is launching an investigation into Dr. Fauci. It's past time to get to the truth of what happened during COVID. Very good. And Kelly McCarthy, history should remember how the unvaccinated were treated by these people.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
People who are incubators for every variant to come, walking around lawfully unvaccinated? That's psychotic.
For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death. For
Really?
Yep.
yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm.
About this, in a world of threats and tyrants and terror, you know what our biggest enemy is in America? Our fellow Americans.
They are the ones that are propagating this outbreak.
Being frustrated that there is still a percentage of the population who are not vaccinated.
I wish that he would go further to restrict the activities of the unvaccinated.
Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy. You're
horse goo?
Yeah, you see, here's the catch, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start off with a destination, but when you arrive, sometimes you're a little short or a little long on it.
Mm-hmm.
This guy here, he's a little long on his assessment of his chances and where he goes from this. Basically, he's living on a fantasy.
25% can cause a lot of damage, and they are.
If you're willing to walk among us unvaccinated, you are an enemy.
Well, you know, it's my rights. Okay. But I don't care.
The pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Well, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. And they're killing people.
Freedom not to follow the facts, even if your freedom kills people? What kind of freedom is that? What kind of freedom do they really want?
We have a pandemic because of the unvaccinated, and they're sowing enormous confusion. The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals, are overrunning emergency rooms and intensive care units, leaving no room for someone with a heart attack or pancreatitis or cancer.
Shouldn't they have to pay more into the system because they are collapsing our health system? They're the ones in the ERs.
Require vaccination universally. Have the military run it. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you better be ready to prove your conscientious objector status in court.
Almost like it's going to be two Americas.
And two Americas, you say? Oh, by the way, here's the hospital, you know, right, with so many dying patients. This is from Gaina Fauci. Just watch this again. So now you have to. I blame Fauci at 100% for this bullshit.
Right, turn on the lights. Not gonna lose our minds tonight. What's the dealio? COVID's been all too much. 5 a.m. turn the radio up. Where's the masks and gloves?
Hey, George. Does that look like a hospital overrun with patients dying?
It looks like a terrific production. They got video production. They got choreography. It's amazing. All they're missing is the patients.
Party crasher, PPE snatcher. Stay indoors if
By the way,
you're
it's an
a
emergency
traveler.
part of the hospital that's never empty.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Yeah. Think about that.
now that I think about it, I really don't think this many physicians are this well choreographed.
You think? if you're supposed to be saving people, you should be, and it's thousands, like what we just heard a video of Biden and other people say, then they don't have time to be doing these at all.
Won't you come in and raise your mask? Just come in and raise your mask. Won't you come in and raise your mask? Just come in and raise your mask. My masks are gone. That's so.
Remember, 6 feet apart, and COVID can't touch you.
So if you're too ill for school and you're treated like a fool, gotta choose to stay at home. You can always party over Zoom. So raise your glass when COVID's gone and party all day.
Enough of it. Sorry. Here's a gag. Maybe Nick Sotor should track these people down in public space and say, "How do you feel about dancing while people are dying?"
Yeah, that would be something. MJ Truth Ultra, this is horrific. My God, they need to all pay dearly. Dr. Fauci sewed fingers and scalp of aborted baby into the back of research mice, which the scalp grew fine baby hair. Okay.
NIH funded putting aborted babies' fingers and scalps off the heads of aborted babies and putting them into the backs of research mice. The scalps later grew fine baby hair in the mice. They even included those disgusting photos in their research paper that you funded. Not all of those were research on coronaviruses, but some were. Thankfully, the current NIH director has said no more of this. Dr. Fauci, yes or no? Do you think that human aborted parts should be put into mice for coronavirus research?
The advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
NIH funded putting aborted babies' fingers.
Yep. Okay. Oh. MJ True also, Dr. Fauci used taxpayers to send transgenic mice that contain body parts of aborted 5-month-old babies to China and jokingly called it a BLT sandwich.
We have learned that U.S. coronavirus researchers at UNC shipped, quote, humanized or transgenic mice to China by around 2017 for use in their dangerous coronavirus work. Under your NIAID coronavirus, researchers also used aborted baby body parts in mice research, and taxpayers paid for them to do that. NIH-funded coronavirus researcher Dr. Ralph Barrick and his colleagues at UNC put parts of livers, thymuses, and chunks of human fetal lung that they got from aborted, almost 5-month-old human babies. They put those parts in their research mice. They disgustingly named them BLTL mice and wrote they had created a, quote, sandwich of aborted body parts in the mice. Get it, folks? BLT. A BLT sandwich.
Any comments, George?
All right. First of all, we played similar headlines on this a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
I would say somewhere around the 600.
600. Yeah.
600s. Right?
Yeah.
We're at 1,500 now.
1547.
So let's put it in context. It's taken them 6 to 15. It's taken them 1,000 days to figure this shit out. Holy smokes! Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're complaining about it. What happened back then? You know, we ran the headlines. You know, they weren't watching the Joe King Adventure Hour back then. They weren't getting offended.
No, remember there was a high censor, and any account that talked about it got nuked from every social media.
Oh yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
we're the little people.
We're the
You know,
little people.
we're not the billionaires and trillionaires.
Yeah. But we capture all the data on every video we do.
Absolutely sickening.
Catherine Hedridge, Grok, fast and straight to the point. Fauci takes the fifth 48 plus time so far, the first time in over 250 congressional appearance. Hi, Grok. How many times has Dr. Fauci has taken the fifth 2 hours into the hearing? Over 4 dozen times, more than 48 within the first 2 hours, according to CNN reporting on July 29, 2026 Senate hearing. This is the first time that Fauci has taken the fifth in more than 250 prior congressional appearance. So he has 250.
Yeah, because the previous
categorically wrong.
They were categorically wrong.
Sorry, Senator. Sorry,
now
Senator.
They're in the right category.
You're categorically wrong. You're categorically wrong. Yeah.
One man, one category, all the questions.
Yep. Eric, President Trump just posted a stunning chart proving that Amy Coney Barrett started ruling liberal after the leftists began surging violence threats against them. Pre-Dobbs, 81% conservative. Post-Dobbs, 59%. 2023, 57. 2024, 50%. Amy Coney Barrett is clearly terrified of the left at Timcast. She's getting more liberal. God bless Alito, Thomas, and Kavanaugh holding strong.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know, Thomas says, I would die doing the right thing than coward. That's why he should be Chief Justice.
Oh, boy. And this tells me that her judgment is compromised, which means she can't be there.
Yeah, she can't be there with DEI hire. Here's another question. Is it me, or does she look different compared to...
She looks different. She's trying to make herself pretty, so that way people would overlook the seriousness of her failures.
Exactly. Robert, that must have been some really important conversation. There you go. At least he was a little bear.
That bear, it was very, very respectful.
Blonde Goth Girl. Barrett admitted she's also terrified for her children. If she's terrified of her children and is compromising her judgment as a Supreme Court judge, then she should not be a Supreme Court judge that affects millions of people's lives. I'm sorry that it's affecting her children. That comes with the job. And if it's impacting her judgment to actually vote what is right in fear of something, then she needs to be resign and let President Trump find another Supreme Court justice that can take her place.
Yep.
So,
someone who doesn't have kids, someone who can't be compromised, someone who has a good head on the shoulder, someone who knows the law.
Yeah.
Someone like Grok.
Right. But not Claude, because he's a leaker. Donald J. Trump, everyone needs to stop what they're doing and watch this clip right now. All right, this is from Anu Surabayan.
Can you do me a favor in the audience and stand up if during the time of the COVID pandemic, you were called a racist for calling the virus a Wuhan virus or the China virus? If you thought the 6-foot rule was total crap, if you thought the vaccine wasn't something that you should take, if you thought it was outrageous the way the mask policy was rolled out, if you were fired from your job for not taking that vaccine, including members of the military, if you thought closing schools was catastrophically stupid, and that you thought that during these times saying these things made you somehow a lesser human being.
What is it? Murdoch's and...
Dr. Fauci, can you just turn around and look at the people behind you? You're not willing to do that? That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyer, it's not a question. It's a request. All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely shamed for saying what we know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them?
No, can't even look.
Yep.
Colonel Tom Watkins, NATO. We will have World War III whether the world wants it or not.
You know, I'm beginning to suspect now, you know what World War III is?
Go ahead.
Just a bunch of actors and phony reports. There's no way there will be a World War III. You know why? Because the EU is buying the weapons from Trump.
Yeah.
And Trump's not going to give them anything that
right
will
now,
actually escalate to World War III.
George, right now, it's not World War III. But back then, it was World War III, George.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
Remember, time displacement. Time displacement. What's being reported now is just finally what's happened before. It's just being repeated over and over again.
One more time.
One more time. Celebration. Homeland Security child trafficker pleads guilty, working as part of an alien smuggling operation. Diana Guandian drugged and brought children between the ages 5 and 13 to our nation illegally, thanks to the work of HSI El Paso, the CBP, and our partners at the Justice Department. This smuggler will never be able to put innocent children in danger again. So, an El Paso woman pleaded guilty in a shocking child smuggling case where a prosecutor says children as young as 5 were given THC lace gummies to keep them sedated before being smuggled into the United States. Gee, I wonder why they're being smuggling children into the United States, George.
They have customers.
They have customers.
They have customers lined up.
Yes. Colonel Tom Watkins, did you know that President Ford's pardons of Nixon was for his entire presidency? That's very interesting, given that he had dealings with Adan Kaskogolfsky, Robert Madu of the CIA, Howard Hughes Network, was involved in the Lockheed bribery deal with Japan, which was involved with PepsiCo, ITT, and the mining interests where the money was exchanged for the overthrow of Chile's government, Baby Rebozo, Mafia Resorts International, Parasite's Island crime scene, and his buddy Robert Vesco. Given just how bad the Watergate break-in was conducted and how obviously they were trying not to get caught, and given that the CIA Cuban exile Gladio crew conducting that were actual professional when they wanted to be, do you think this is a more passing of the baton? After all, Nixon owed Rockefeller clan his career at the national level, especially the VP slot courtesy of Nelson Rockefeller, the exact same guy who slid into Nixon's old VP slot under Ford. Good old Nelson was involved with the CIA Nixons on many common interests over the year, including Venezuela. Weird how that worked out. Therefore, I, Gerald R. President of the United States, pursuant to the pardon power conferred upon me by Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, have granted and by these present do grant a full, free, absolute pardon unto Richard Nixon for all offense against the United States which he, Richard Nixon, had committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 20th, 1969 through August 9, 1974, and witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 8th day of September in the year of our Lord 1974, and the independence of the United States of America 119.9. Gerald R. Ford. Here's a question, George. That pardon doesn't work on a president because he's already immune for any action conducted as president, as we just seen with President Trump. Remember? So what would Gerald Ford need to pardon Nixon for his actions as president?
It's one guy helping another guy, you know? Hey, a guy's down on his luck, you know?
Remember, Nixon said, I'm not a crook, and I didn't ask for a pardon. I didn't want a pardon.
Hey, he's got to bring in the ringer, you know?
Yeah. Now, this was, again, for the Watergate babies. Purposely done to bring in the Watergate baby, because people would be so mistrusting of the Republicans that the Republican would lose a record number of seats and would be replaced by the Watergate babies, who are socialist, communist Democrats who are still in office up to today. Jane Plemon, Bill Gates saved Africa by destroying their food supply.
Foundation decided that there was too much malaria in Africa, right? Which you and I could probably agree with. Malaria is bad. So what did they do? They gave all of these people living in tribal villages. I'm totally pirated your thing. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go on a fucking rant here. They gave all these people living in the Cabora-Bassa Delta, which is the breadbasket of the Zambezi Valley, meaning like where more fish are born. It's a nursery for fish, right? Not just there, but this is a good micro example. They gave millions of mosquito nets out to all these people to avoid malaria. Guess what the people who are starving to death did with their mosquito nets?
They fished with them.
They fished with them. Mosquito net has a hole that is so small that a mosquito can't get through. So guess what? These mosquito nets now indiscriminately catch tiny baby fish in areas like Cabora-Bassa, where the fish go to breed and reproduce and populate. So now all of a sudden you have thousands and thousands of people that have been handed nets, that have been living one way for hundreds of thousands of years. They don't give a shit about malaria. They have their own way of dealing with malaria. They sit in smoky huts at night. They sleep with a campfire, everything else. Yes, they still get malaria, some of them, but they deal with it their own way. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation come in, hand out millions of mosquito nets, absolutely collapse the entire population of fish that feed millions of people, because these people just take the nets and fish all the baby fish out so that those fish don't grow up to make substantial protein sources. So now these wonderful philanthropists that have given out millions of nets have destroyed an ecosystem, crashed a fish population, and created widespread hunger for people that otherwise had plenty of resources. All because they were trying to help with their mosquito nets.
It sounds like mission accomplished. George?
I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to listen to the whole thing. Actually, no, I'll take that back. I listened to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It literally became a circle jerk.
Yeah.
The moment he finished the last sentence, you can loop that entire statement around and replay it.
Yeah.
It's that ridiculous.
Yeah, it's built to be a short.
Yeah.
So it can go on TikTok and people share it out.
Yeah. You'd be hard pressed to, go away from that video, but that video just wants you to look at it.
Exactly. It's purposely, intentionally made to look at it.
Yeah.
It's a deprogramming video. Cloth King, homeschool your kids. Annapolis and Luna, they always target kids. It's gross. New York Post. Taxpayer-funded trans doll with removable genitalia to hit classroom this fall for kids as young as 4 to learn about different options. Keep saying homeschool is the way to go.
You know, there's a downside to homeschool.
You have to be at home and you have to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, it was easier for kids to be in public school. Just, you know, give them some sugar in the morning, drop them off at school. Don't worry about them. Pick them up around 3, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Done. By then, the sugar would have worn off.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. The Vigilant Fox, Senator Ron Johnson confronts Dr. Fauci with a huge stacks of paper, each one showing that ivermectin works. You said there was no evidence of ivermectin is helpful. On that exact same day, there was a website that was tracking the randomized control studies. Here, they're showing 60-70% efficiency or effectiveness of ivermectin. And the same day, you said there was no evidence. There was all kinds of evidence.
Yep.
Yep. Now, this is crazy, George. How bad do you have to? Your life has to suck if you want to Darwin yourself out because of a game. This is from Rock Solid. Pokemon fans are genuine cultists. Suicide Watch. I literally want to blank myself because of Pal World game. I lost my respect for the game market. 2 million players are literally stealing multiple years of community building by Nintendo and Game Freak, literally living off of somebody else's work, and people love it. People love it because it's Pokemon on PC, and Allah has nothing to say against Pal World. People just love it that it hurts a big company they support. What Toxis just proves a point. People catch on the hype train just because streamer says the word, and everyone knows streamers are just elites of this world, so their opinions is sacred. A good Pokemon game for PC. Everyone who supports this game just told every other company that's trying hard it's futile. Hard work and talent out the window. Just copy somebody else's work, steal their fan base. That's the world we live in. Pal World literally sold better than Red Dead Redemption 2, which was just such a beautiful game made by talented and hardworking people. It doesn't matter. The market demand dull games, toxic practice for somebody to be successful. Pal World proved to me that the world is a nasty place, and I lost all my will to be around. I literally want to blank myself because I live in a cage of monkeys. I stopped feeling like a gamer. I haven't touched a video game since Pal World release. I'm shaking every night, having blank thoughts, and thinking there's even a point of creativity. People love safe design to the point that I feel disconnected. One day they'll hate games that do microtransactions to give money to pay for the worker, which is a lot as well. And the second they give, this has to be a troll, gives hundreds of millions to some quick Unreal Engine 5 game because it hurts Nintendo. Like the main goal of supporting the game is hurting another company for not making an equal game. We're sadistic. We're easily exploitable. We have patterns. Company has tactics to target out attention spans better than we live in some kind of circuits. I don't know if I'll lose my sanity or do something myself first. This person is having mental cognitive dissonance. Oh, hey, Cap After Dark. Hi, guys.
Greetings.
George, what do you make of this unhinged person who should just step away from video game because he or she are currently burnt out?
Yeah, go figure, huh?
Yep. William Worfmore, hello.
All right, what's next?
American values. Is AOC the dumbest politicians currently in office? No, but she's in a running lead. Republicans are trying to rig the election by only allowing U.S. citizens to vote.
Uh-oh.
Yes, rig the election by allowing the only eligible people who supposed to be voting in their country to, have a vote. Breaking BBC News. 4 women accuse Hollywood star Jared Leto of criminal sexual conduct when they were teenagers.
Uh-oh.
I guess they didn't know the first rule of Fight Club. You don't talk about it. Wall Street Maeve. Argentina is showing former socialist country how to do it. President Milei has cut the government in half. He stopped printing pesos to pay their bills. He got rid of rent control, which resulted in thousands of units becoming onto the market, and rent prices declining 40%. Millions of people are escaping poverty in Argentina due to Milei. The IMF just says poverty fell from 50 to 20%. Finch and S&P and now Moody have all upgraded the country. So why isn't everyone celebrating? Because it shows that socialism doesn't work. And by socialism, it means communism. George?
Yep. Wait a minute. They bypassed Enterprise B, C, and D. No, B, and C. We've never seen those ships.
Enterprise B and C?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. That was a Takai ship. Sulu, remember? The Executive Corps class. That was Enterprise B. And Enterprise C was in Days of Past when Tasha Javar had to go and become security. Remember? During Next Generation?
Yes. I remember now.
Air for parental right. My city again. Colorado continues to make headlines for all the wrong reasons. Just down the road from me, a judge released a man facing 72 felony charges for sexually abuse of children. He's facing 100 plus years in prison in Wyoming. And Lemuel County just released him on his own reconnaissance. Wyoming authority has publicly expressed frustration. Wyoming media is covering the story. Colorado, crickets. No warning to citizens. So many reasons. Fort Collins, Colorado is no longer a safe place to raise your children. Colorado court releases Wyoming man wanted on 72 child sex abuse charges.
Oh no.
Atlas Society. She told taxpayers to leave. Now she needs their money back. Let's watch.
And we're here to say that the era of Trump and Zeldin and Molinaro, just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't...
You know what happened? They actually did.
Yeah, they all got out of town.
Yeah.
You don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
And being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right?
Pause,
there are some patriotic millionaires.
Let this sink in for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
She requires millionaires and billionaires to support the programs in New York.
Yeah.
But if she managed herself or managed the budget and didn't blow it on crack and hookers,
right,
they won't need millionaires and billionaires because every person who is in New York would be supporting the services.
Right. George, you know what? I have to push just lightly. Those sex workers do need to be subsidized.
I'm not even talking about the sex workers. I just said crack and hookers.
Exactly. The hookers are the sex workers.
No, hookers, man. You know the people, the line people, the people that hook the cables up. You
Oh,
know, and put the electricity
cable
through
guys,
the network.
cable persons.
Those are cable persons?
Yeah.
Who stepped up?
No, a cable person is somebody who comes in from the future and tries to change the past.
No, that's a telegram.
Telegram? Are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Because that's just a person who talks about, you know, the importance of how many grams there are in stuff.
Exactly. So they have to be from the future to have that much time.
Sir, there's no way someone can come in from the future. Okay, that's impossible.
They were. They came from future Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Didn't see that one coming.
I can't roll with it. You got me.
Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our
hell no, those millionaires and billionaires are in Palm Beach, and like, you mean I don't have to pay state taxes? I don't have no income taxes. The taxes are here are so low that it's virtually nil. I'm making even more money. Why the F do I want to go back to New York? And they're voting to get rid of property taxes? Oh, hell yeah.
tax base has been eroded. And we're here.
Sure, it's non-school exempt property taxes, which I'm not that happy of. Shuri, what the F? AI companies are purchasing large quantity of used and rare books, scanning their contents to train models, then turning the original into pulp. The sums of human thoughts digitalized and shredded. Every book that gets scanned disappears from the physical world permanently. The knowledge survives only as training data inside a system no one can hold, browse, or resell. What used to sit on the shelf for centuries now exists as weight in a model that might depreciate the next quarter.
Yeah, this is total bullshit. This is absolutely destroying history.
Yeah.
This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong.
I physically felt ill seeing this.
Yeah, me too. It's like, okay, yeah. So you scanned the book in, yeah, but you know, who's to say that your scanning of the book was accurate?
Yeah.
And who's to say that you're not gonna, you know, change the context of the stuff?
Exactly. That's why you need hard copies of everything. This bullshit. But you know what this is, George? This was part of that whole Build Back Better bullshit that they were promoting, that you'll own nothing and be happy.
I mean, look at these books, man. These are vintage books.
I feel the pain. I feel the pain in some rage.
Some of these are hand made, you know.
Yeah. Not those.
You know, like, you know,
those.
Fuck. Find something happy to end the show with.
Oh, I was still continuing on. Western lesbian media hacks would look into their camera, scold, berate, and wag their finger because they believe themselves to be voice of moral authority. Here, Chuck delivers a self-righteous sermon to the American of vaccination.
Please get vaccinated. If you know someone who's not vaccinated, find a way to convince them to get vaccinated. Literally, the only people dying are the unvaccinated. And for those of you spreading misinformation, shame on you. Shame on you. People are needlessly dying because of your misinformation. Think about it. I don't know how some of you sleep at night who are doing this for a living on television. Okay, please get vaccinated. If you know someone who's not vaccinated, find a way to convince them to get vaccinated. Literally, the only people dying are the unvaccinated.
Yeah. Dr. Fauci, would you at least answer the question, this one question for us today? On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline. The chairman has denied your assertion of privilege and directly to answer, but you nevertheless refuse to stand on privilege despite the existence of the pardon. It's against the law to obstruct an investigation of Congress. There will be repercussions to your refusal to testify today. So that's from the Vigilant Fox. We're going to see this is going to play out more and more, George. More and more. More and more and more and more and more.
Yep.
Look, it's so bad that CNN has to. This is from the Vigilant Fox as well.
12 times to invoke the Fifth Amendment. I mean, you can't even string all that together. That obviously, it sends a message. Will that strategy work? Because he says, well, I had to do that because, they're looking for perjury traps. Or does that just make it worse, and is he in real trouble?
I think it makes it worse. It's even a curious way in which you wonder what his legal advice was, why they decided to do that.
Yeah.
Because he does not face criminal jeopardy for the pardon in all likelihood. He's pardoned for all actions before January 2025. But that also means that you're forced to testify. That's how prosecutors use immunity or pardons, and they say now you're forced to testify because you don't have any criminal liability, what we're going to ask you about. So then to plead the Fifth is actually, he could then be held in contempt. There could be, theoretically at least, a Justice Department that goes after him for not answering when he is not really facing that criminal charge.
Yeah, and also when the reason put out is perjury traps, then of course, again, to the layperson, it's just saying, well, why wouldn't you just say the truth? What would be the problem in that? Yeah. So, I understand that's a layperson thing, but it doesn't sound good.
Of course it doesn't sound good. It's like a mission of guilt. Flapper, Anthony Fauci on Capitol Hill today.
I plead the Fifth. I plead the Fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything you say, Fifth. Go ahead, ask me a question. Did you? Fifth. I have a secret document that I think you need to say.
That'll be all, sir. Good afternoon. I got your sentence reduced to a month.
Oh!
There you go.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. I hear that he's planning to make a new Dave Chappelle show for a new season. I don't know if it'll be Comedy Central or whatnot, but you know what? As long as he has that cutting edge as the first 2 seasons, I think I will be happy if he does it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you to Blonde Goth Girl. Thank you to Gap After Dark. Thank you to William Worthmore. Thank you to Lurkers of Bot. Thank you to everybody else. George, what are your final thoughts?
Yep.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow for more because the news doesn't stop. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more Fauci-centric because that's what the algorithm is clamoring.
I believe that together we can make America great again. I believe that together we can make America